Hello Year 4, it's Miss Bellis here. How are you today? I hope you're ready for your maths learning. And today I'm really excited because we are starting a new topic in maths. We're leaving multiplication and division behind and we are going to be looking at graphs. So here is today's in focus and we have a table here and the table shows the number of cupcakes sold in a shop on a particular day. So these are the flavours. We have chocolate, strawberry, banana, orange and vanilla. And here we have the number of cupcakes sold. And it asks us what types of graphs can we draw to show this information. And there are some extra questions here to get you thinking and to help you. And that's what information is given in the table. Who would this information be useful to and why? What other ways could this data or information be presented? What do we already know about graphs? So have a go and then come back and we'll have a look at different ways to show the information. So here we have a picture graph with lots of pictures of cupcakes. Ravi tells us that each picture represents 4 cupcakes. So each of these is worth 4. So if I look at orange, for example, because we've got our flavours down here and our number of cupcakes sold over here, I can count in 4s and it will tell me how many orange cupcakes were sold. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. And if I check on the table, we can see that that is correct. What do you think of this graph? Is it easy to read? Could we improve it? Lulu says this picture graph needs too many pictures. Do you agree? I think we can say that whilst it shows the data, we could improve it. I would not like to have to draw out that many cupcakes, and I would have to be very quick at counting in 4s to read the information quickly. So do you think this is a better representation of the data? So what's the scale? Hannah says this time one picture is worth 10 cupcakes. So let's check that. We've got our flavours along here and our number of cupcakes, and each of these is worth 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. We can check that on the table and we can see that that is correct. But Charles says it's difficult to show 64, 48, 24 and 42. Do you agree? If we look, we can see that those are the numbers of the other flavours of the cupcakes that were sold. So let's look at strawberries. So that should be 64. So each one of those is worth 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Then we have half a picture here, or less than half. It's not terribly clear. That could be 64, it could be 63. I don't think I would be able to tell definitely that it's 64. And Charles says, is making one picture worth 8 cupcakes a good choice? What do you think? Maybe we could change it. If we look at the data, we can see that all of these numbers are a multiple of 8, so they're in the 8 times table. So maybe one picture being worth 8 cupcakes would be better. So here we have the same information on a bar graph. So we've looked at a table, we've looked at 2 picture graphs, and now we have a bar graph. Which do you think is the easiest to read? Well, let's have a look. We could look at the chocolate, so that should show that there's 80 sold. So we have our flavours of cupcakes here, our number of cupcakes, and this time we have some numbers at the side that's going up in multiples of 8 to show us how many were sold. So if we look at chocolate and we go up the bar and we go across to the left, that shows us that there were 80 cupcakes sold. Similarly, if we look at orange, we know that should say 24. We just go up the bar, across to the left, and we can see that reads off at 24. So we can see that with the bar graph, we can see the information accurately and quickly. And with the bar graph, I can instantly see the most and the least amount of cupcakes sold without even having to compare the numbers. So before we move on to the guided practice, have a look at these bar graphs. What is the same and what is different? Pause the video and have a look. Okay, you probably noticed that each shows the same information, and we can check that. Let's look at the chocolate. On here, we can see there were 80 sold. We can see the same on the second graph, and on the third, and on the fourth. What is different is that the information is shown in a different order. But does that matter? I think we can say that with bar graphs, it doesn't. I can just as easily gain the same information from each graph. Okay, so here is today's guided practice. And it says that Elliot started drawing a bar graph to show the number of cupcakes sold in the shop on that particular day. He used 1 centimetre to represent 10 cupcakes. So we're using the same information from the in focus. We're going to put it onto this bar graph. We've got our flavours down at the bottom and the number of cupcakes over here. Now this time the scale on the side is going up in tens. So let's do the first one of these together. For chocolate, we know the number sold was 80. So if I get my pen, the chocolate, I can count up to the top to 80. So I know the top of my bar will be here, and I can draw my bar on here. I'm sure you'll be able to do this much more neatly with a pencil than I'm managing with a mouse. Okay, let's also have a go together at banana. Now, this says 48. So I can't just use one of these lines. I'm going to have to use my number knowledge as to where I'm going to put the top of the bar. So 48 is only 2 below 50. So if I get my pen, I'm going to go just below 50 and I'm going to put a line here and I'm going to then draw my bar there. Okay, so have a go at drawing on orange and vanilla, and then we have some questions to answer underneath. And the first one is, among the 5 flavours, which one sold the least and which one sold the most? And then we have to work out how many cupcakes were sold that day. And so that's going to be adding up all of the amounts of cupcakes sold together, and that will give you the answer. So have a go, and then we'll have a look at the answers together. Okay, so here are the answers, and hopefully your graph looks something like this. We can see that chocolate sold the most and orange sold the least, and the total amount of cupcakes sold that day, which we got by adding all those numbers together, was 258. Okay, so here is the worksheet for today. There are 2 pages to the worksheet. And question 1, the table below shows the number of burgers sold in a cafe from Monday to Friday. So here are the days of the week, and this is the amount of burgers sold. Sam drew a bar graph to show the number of burgers sold, and we have to complete Sam's graph. Now we can see they've already done Monday for you. So it's at 62, so they've come up here just above the 60 mark and put the line there and drawn the bar. So you need to do that for the rest of the days of the week. Now the second part of the worksheet, they've already drawn a bar graph for you, but this is showing the number of chicken pies sold in the same cafe from Monday to Friday. So you need to look carefully at the graph and then answer these questions by filling in the blanks. Now when you get to question D, it asks which was a more popular choice in the cafe, the burgers or the chicken pies, and you have to explain your answer. So you'll need to look back to the graph that you drew for question 1 to answer that question. Okay, so here are the answers to question 1. And here are the answers to question 2. Okay, now if you wanted to extend your maths learning today, this is entirely optional. You don't have to do it, but if you want to do some extra maths learning, we've got an extension that says, can you create your own table for a different shop? And can you draw a graph based on this data? So if you want to have a go at that, then please do. And that's it from me today, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.